Well, hey there, happy day 1024 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here at your service, documenting the journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. Spent over a quarter century in corporate America working for some of the most fantastic companies in the world, and even at fantastic companies in the world, you can learn a whole lot of lessons. And since I was 13, I've been running different businesses, been involved in different businesses, different industries, at least 27 different industries. I haven't counted, and I haven't separated since I've gone online, because to me, it's just all one big online experiment, more of an experiment than an experience. But I use this particular segment to share the lessons that I've learned, what I'm working on, what's working, what's not, you know, mistakes I've made, because I sure want people to not make the same mistakes I've made. I should do a 10 biggest lessons learned over the past, 3 years in online business. That would be a good one. That would be a good one, because guess what? I still am very much aware of mistakes that I'm making, current mistakes that I'm making, and I hate to say am I doing them on purpose, but I'm actually doing them on purpose. Not for positive outcome, but just because for a lot of reasons, a lot of excuses I could make, I'm continuing to do things that I shouldn't do, but I know better, but I'm doing them anyway, and I'm doing them intentionally, which is weird to some people, but it's kind of like part of the grand experiment. So today, what am I doing? Talked about weird food again on the fun challenge. I don't know, I guess we're on a streak of weird food and weird meals, and today we're supposed to draw a weird meal. I haven't done that yet, but I'm sure I'll find something weird to draw. I don't know what it'll be yet. It'll be something weird, but it's a lot of weird meals and a lot of food I would not eat and do not eat. Unlike many people, I haven't learned to like and appreciate sushi. And I'll say yet, because, I'm open-minded. Maybe down the road I will find a way to appreciate sushi, because I know so many people that absolutely love it. One of my nephews was born in Japan with his parents in the military, and he absolutely, since he was could eat, has been loving and eating sushi, and he will go to a sushi restaurant and order and just get everything. It's crazy, but so I need to learn to appreciate it. But today was about weird food again, and that's fun. I find some fun things in weird food. Now, to me, I'd rather have sea salt caramels than any weird food any day, but it's up to each of us to decide what is good and what's not, what's weird, what's not for us. So that was a fun challenge today, a 365-day challenge to do one fun thing every day. And I have to admit, 2020 was the perfect year to look for something fun in every day, because some days this year have not felt particularly fun. Anybody else? Anybody? Had some really interesting days this year where you're like, yeah, I don't want to repeat that day. This was just one of those days I will put a big pass on. Actually, it's been a quiet year, I think, for most of us. I mean, volatile yet quiet in a lot of ways. For me, it's been quiet, and I feel like everybody's just kind of catching up with me, because for the last couple of years, I've had to make massive changes in my lifestyle and how I do things and how things work for me from a personal standpoint. Doesn't mean I don't keep going and I don't keep figuring it out, because one of the things I believe that we always have to do is realize and believe that we can always figure it out. No matter what comes our way, there's always a way to respond and move our life in the direction we want it to go. No matter how hard or how big the obstacles, no matter what's happening, everything is always just temporary, and it's up to us to figure out how to make it not be permanent. So that was a fun challenge today. Supersize Your Business was about a shot in the arm, and it was very difficult for me to not get on the topic of vaccinations, because I just listened to like a 10-part series with my daughter, who is pregnant, and her husband, due in February, and we were watching this whole series about vaccinations, and there's all kinds of people that have all kinds of opinions about vaccinations, and I was like, I always just did what my doctor told me to do for my kids. And now, as I'm watching this program, and I'm watching and learning and studying and researching and looking into things myself, I'm a little bit horrified. Not a little bit, I'm absolutely, totally horrified at what goes on in this particular industry. But guess what? It's just a smaller portion of what is going on in our world and in our, look at our politics right now. Look at our media right now. It's ridiculous what we've allowed to happen to us as Americans, and it's time to put a stop to it. It's time to, get rid of it's not systemic racism, it's systemic fraud, systemic corruption, systemic lying, systemic misbehavior. It's actually systemic evil in many situations, and it's evil in the form of greed and money and all kinds of crap that we just don't need to tolerate. The corruption, the systemic corruption needs to end. The systemic game playing and manipulation and lying and cheating needs to end. We're so much better than that as human beings. It just has to end. And each and every one of us needs to stand up and say, yeah, this isn't okay. I would not behave this way. I would not be able to get away with ever behaving this way. Number one, I wouldn't think about ever behaving this way. Number two, I would never get away with it. So that helps to stop me from behaving this way. Not only is it morally wrong and corrupt and just ridiculous and evil, but I know I wouldn't get away with it, and I would expect to be punished for it. And the fact that people have been getting away with stuff for decades and not been punished for it and not caught and held accountable for it, and have been lying and cheating and harming other people to get what they want, to get ahead, to control other people, totally unacceptable, needs to stop. All right, off my soapbox, climbing off my soapbox now, having a sip of coffee, resetting. Obviously, we were talking about in No Nonsense November today, cues, triggers, prompts, and reminders. And I need to remind myself and have a cue and a trigger and a prompt sometimes when I get off topic. There should be like a little zapper that zaps me and puts me back on topic. That would be awesome. I might invent something like that. Hey, you're off topic. You know, like the shock collar for the dogs when they don't listen? No, don't worry. We're not hurting the dogs. We don't have mean shock collars, but it's a great training tool. I think I need one of those for myself to train myself to stay on topic. So today was all about cues, triggers, prompts, and reminders. And obviously, the media triggers me. The media triggers me in a way, and I don't watch the media. I don't participate in any of mainstream media. I couldn't tell you the last time I had a television on to mainstream media. I watched the presidential debates and the vice president debates on YouTube with no narrating, no nonsense, no crap, no moderating crap from other people and opinions. And it's not news, it's people's opinions. Obviously triggered again. Snap. I need my rubber bands back to snap my wrist. So talking about in No Nonsense November, things that cause us to behave or respond in an automatic way, part of the habit cycle, you know, cues, routine, reward, cues, routine, reward. And they can be both positive and negative, right? Rewards can feel positive to us, but it might be a negative routine that we're running. We might harass other people online and feel like we're important and big and get a little boost of self-ego building because we're an ass on social media. And then we might get another cue where somebody posts something that we can argue with, and so then we're going to automatically respond to that in a negative way, which gives us another little boost of that. So anything can be positive or negative that we run around that loop, right? We're seeing a lot of that in social media. And, you know, the censorship, all the crap that's going on just triggers me. And so my response is choosing not to participate, staying out of it, and looking at it and studying it from a bigger, broader perspective instead of getting sucked into the little games that are being played. Do I get sucked in sometimes? Yes, I hate to admit it, but I absolutely do. And then I always regret it, right? I always regret when I share my opinion online about certain topics. Religion, politics are those two topics. I personally have spent my life staying out of it. Number one, because it's none of my business. What anybody else thinks, as long as it isn't hurting me or those I love and care about, I don't care. It's none of my business. You know, it's the same way I feel about people of different sexual orientations, races, you know, upbringings, whatever. Hey, you do you, I'll do me. And as long as you're not in my face or negatively impacting me or trying to harm me or hurt me or kill me or somebody I love and care about, I'm totally cool with that. You know, do no evil, do no harm. I wish more people would live that way. I still think treat everybody the way you want to be treated and you'll be fine. I got to believe that if you're out rioting and looting and hurting other people and burning things down, you certainly wouldn't want people coming to your house and burning your house down or stealing your stuff. So that is a prime example of not treating other people the way you want to be treated, right? I think we see a whole lot of that going on in politics right now. People making laws and rules for the masses that they don't follow. That's got to stop too. That's not okay. Again, the expectations need to be held, not expectations, but we need to all be held accountable for our choices, our actions, our sayings. What we say and do matters all the time. And sometimes we forget, me included. Sometimes I forget, and then I think, oh, dang it, I wish I wouldn't have said that. I wish I wouldn't have done that. Less and less often as I get older, but still happens. We're human. So cues, triggers, reminders, and prompts. I think that was a good one today. Went a couple minutes over, but there's so many things like that in our life that we need to not let control us and take control of. And it's hard, especially in highly charged emotional times, to step back and say, whoa, 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 I'm off. I've totally been triggered. I am off the reservation. I need to come back and get my emotions and my behavior in check. We need to all be able to do that. It's called emotional intelligence. You know, that's one of the terms that has come up recently that I actually think is a good descriptor of how we want to believe it and how we want to behave. Shot in the arm was the supersize your business idiom today. And I got to tell you, I don't have a whole lot of positive associations with shots. I remember in grade school being terrified as we all stood in line shivering, waiting to get our inoculations or shots back then. We used to get them at school. We got them in school. I remember grade school getting them. And I think even in junior high and high school, we got shots. We only had like 7 in our whole life. So they made a big impression. I think we've all got that left arm. I think, is it tetanus? Was it deep? I don't remember what it was, but it was a couple things. Maybe polio and tetanus scar on our arms from that shot, which is really interesting that you get a scar from something like that. So to me, although shot in the arm can be considered a positive thing, to me, it's always had more negative connotations with it. Maybe the shots in the eye through my 20s and 30s and 40s kind of soured me on the idea of shots. Now, did it give me relief and make me feel better? Yeah, after I went to bed for half a day with a giant migraine, it gave me some relief and got rid of the inflammation in my eye, but boy, they were not pleasant. Not a fun thing to have happen. So shot in the arm today was our idiom. I was thinking about my book this morning as part of my morning routine and thinking, what are some quick and easy ways I can get help with editing that and cleaning it up? So I will be looking for some resources to help me do that. Probably today and tomorrow I'll look for resources for that. Hopefully granddaughter tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, that's it. That's all I've got today. I've got a gazillion things to do and I want to get on them. I wish you a happy and amazing day. If I can help you in any way, if you got a question or a problem or a concern or a thought that you're struggling with and you don't have anyone to turn to, please just ask. I might not know the answer, but I will be able to at least help you get to the next step, help you to find somebody that is perfect to help you get to wherever it is that you want to go. Have a great day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.